It's time for another episode of the Daily Blogcast for Internet Marketing, where every day we find all the best industry blog posts and turn them into something you can listen to, because you can't read. Now, here are your hosts, Mark and Brian.
Hey guys, welcome to episode number 73.
Wine Wednesday.
It's Hump Day Wednesday.
Hump Day. Hump Day.
Wine Wednesday.
Whatever.
Gonna pull out my box.
No, I'm gonna just whine about stuff.
Oh, okay.
That's what
better.
I meant.
Not getting paid.
Did you
no money?
Did you hear the news the other day about this isn't funny, so don't laugh.
Oh, okay. I won't laugh.
It's ironic though.
Aw. Okay.
That there was a the snake handling preacher died.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah. Well, I shouldn't have laughed.
No, see, what's so funny, man? People dying isn't cool. That's not cool, man.
I just think it's crazy that
it's not cool, bro.
There's still snake handlers out there. So
yeah.
I was like, wow, really? They're still doing that?
Yeah, and he was on a show, I guess.
Yeah, some
snake
Discovery
Snake
Channel.
Revival or something on Geography Channel, I think, or National Geographic, I think.
Yeah.
And he was like, for those of you who don't know, he's in religious ceremonies, he would handle a snake. I still don't understand why, but...
Well, I think because they're not afraid to be bitten because they have the power of the Lord behind them.
Right, but what is the significance of having a snake there?
Oh, I don't know. I read something in the paper.
Why not like juggle machetes or something? Or
yeah, he believed
juggle
that...
chainsaws. That would be
chainsaws.
It. Can you imagine making a mistake juggling a chainsaw?
Yeah, he believed that he was like taking a literal interpretation of the Bible, something about snake handling.
Oh, there's some passage in there.
Yeah, serpents and stuff like that.
He's super lucky there wasn't. Well, he's dead now, but
yeah, so he's not.
What if there was a chainsaw section?
Yeah,
and people were juggling chainsaws.
Yeah, I saw something recently in Justified, that TV show Justified. I think it's like on FX or something. And there's a recent episode, well, last season, so maybe not that recent, but I watched it on Netflix, so it's recent to me. And there was one of those guys with snakes, going around preaching, and turns out his sister was like getting all the venom out of the snake, so it couldn't actually kill him.
She was milking it.
Yeah, she was milking the snakes, and he didn't know, and he got bit, and he was like, "I'm fine, whatever," and he just like died like pretty quickly.
Wow,
it's like,
yeah, I guess this was a rattler.
Ouch.
And I guess he's been bitten before and refused medical attention, and he came out of it. But this time he just went home.
Yeah.
And he was like, nope, I will be saved.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's horrible.
That's a bummer deal.
Yeah. But I like how you laughed, so.
Yeah.
Just proves I'm a nicer person than you.
Oh, now Christians and Catholics. Everyone hate me.
Again.
So add that to my list.
I have a little, you have a little bit of news, right?
Yeah, it's not any super exciting nudes.
Nudes? Wow.
That would be exciting.
All that talk about snakes has you all turned on now,
yeah.
Huh? Wow.
I have a little bit of news from Barry Schwartz.
That's super funny. Nudes. Or wait, is it Barry Schwartz? Yeah. You thinking of him and you're like, nudes?
Darn it.
Wow.
You found me out.
This is a get to know me episode. Episode number 73, get to know Brian better.
Slip.
Yep.
Okay. Search Engine Roundtable, Barry Schwartz. Did Google, oh no, this word again, penalize Halifax?
I think you prefer to say penal.
Yeah,
don't you? Penal.
I do. So I have to stop. I have to stop for a second and think, oh, if I got to say this again, Nude Barry penalize
Nude Barry
Halifax. So I guess Halifax is like, they look like a banking company to me. They do credit cards, mortgages, all tons of sorts of
Remember
things.
that? Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Remember that game we just talked about, the Mat, what is it, Cuts Kong or Donkey Mat or something?
Yeah.
You should make a game called Nude Barry.
Yeah.
And then that would go viral.
Totally Barry nude.
If you could ever complete it without being super turned on the whole time.
How about Strip Barry? Like you play cards against him and he slowly lose. I want to do that with Matt Cutts. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I'll bet you want to do it with Matt Cutts.
All right. No, I don't. So
you're learning so much about you today.
Yeah. So I guess they were worried about it was unnatural link building and a possible penalization by Google for it. And I guess it was being discussed in different search forums about how like one company that does SEO and link building strategies, things like that, outed like a possible another company that was responsible for their marketing.
I'm sure that happens a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I guess that was the main complaint that came out of this one, was that they're not 100% sure if they had a penalty or not, but is it ethical, for brands to go against each other?
Sure it is.
Yeah.
Didn't everybody learn this at home if you had a brother or sister?
Yeah, exactly.
If one of you got busted, the first reaction of the other one was to be like, but he's doing it too. Like, even if they were going to get away with it, you just want misery loves company, right? You just want somebody going down with you.
Or if I say something worse, like, but they did this.
Yeah.
This is nothing.
Exactly.
So they said, do you think it is okay for LinkResearchTools to accuse another company of being penalized when the company has not been formally accused by Google in the context of promotional exploitation?
I think business is war.
Yeah.
And I think, who cares? I mean, ethical, there's way more stuff that should be asked about whether it's ethical or not.
Yeah. I'm sure that happens all the time.
Yeah.
I've even thought about it myself.
Sure. Because you're a bad person.
Like, I hate this person. They're ranking way better than me. I'm going to out them for their
What are you photoshopping over there? Is that
strategies.
a naked picture of Barry Schwartz?
Yeah, it is. Sorry. I'm turning my monitor
towards me. That is super
me.
distracting. I have a I don't know if I can continue the show. That is so ridiculous. Nude. Here, I have some nudes. Anyway, so this is from Daily Conversions. Refrigeration infected Target cash registers. And he writes, everyone has read about the Target security breach in November and December, costing 40 million people the hassle of replacing credit cards. But have you seen that it started with refrigeration?
No.
The Wall Street Journal is reporting that the malware that infected Target cash registers entered its network via a Pittsburgh-based refrigeration contractor that connected to the retailer systems to do electronic billing.
Oh.
See, this was clickbait because I was like, what, refrigeration? And then I'm like, oh, it's still a computer. The company has been a supplier to Target since 2006, installing and maintaining refrigerator systems in the store's fresh food grocery offerings. The contractor appears to have been the victim of a malware-laced email phishing attack sometime early in 2013 when the malware entered the network, then passed through to Target. While they are also a supplier to other major retailers, including BJ's Wholesale Club, Costco, Trader Joe's, and Walmart, they do not have remote access to the networks, and to date, no other breaches have been reported. They write, the lesson for all of us that live on the net: pay attention to every site you access and to continue to practice safe data and connection practices. Yep.
Wow.
I would agree. But anyway, so this is the part that actually was interesting, because at first I'm like, oh, what? Refrigeration? And then I realized this is... Anyway.
That's cool, though. I mean, that's like all super stealthy. Like, go after the suppliers and try to get them to infiltrate for you.
Yeah, and you're going to love this next piece then.
All right.
So the next paragraph said, no, you're going to love it in a different way.
Oh, okay.
In a family-oriented way.
Oh, okay.
At a conference last year, I heard a popular strategy for infecting systems is distributing USB thumb drives for free at trade shows, or maybe dropping them at the entryway to a company. An unsuspecting employee picks up the drive, attaches it to their computer to see if they can determine who the owner is, and in the process, infect the entire network.
Yeah, I've heard about that too. Like, didn't some nuclear power plant in Russia get attacked?
I think that's how they did it. They like dropped them in front of stuff.
Yeah.
But we could infect the USB drives and take them to like Affiliate Summit and all these places. And when people stick them in, they like our Facebook page.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Tweet out all the time. Like, we love the Daily Blogcast.
Exactly. We should put malware that they would never figure out.
Yeah.
And he said another clever process is to train your employees on good practices, like never clicking on unknown URLs, then to test them. Yeah. One company sent out blind emails about 2 weeks after training, and if the user clicked on the link, they became mandatory participants in a refresher course of safe practices later that week. That's awesome. And I've heard of somebody else doing that too, like our buddy over at the financial institution. I guess they were doing something like this too.
Yeah. That's right.
He asked not to be named the last time I saw him.
Never again?
Well, I don't know. Not in the context of his job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I guess he thinks he's like in the CIA or something.
Yeah. He might just disappear and we'll be like, hey, where's that guy that we can't mention anymore?
Exactly. So that's it. dailyconversions.com.
That's cool. All right. I have an awesome blog post from Pat Flynn, Smart Passive Income, and it's 5 5-minute or less blogging tips that yield big results. I'm using tip number 1 in this title. And so tip number 1 is the little extra thing that you couldn't miss headline. And we kind of talked about this when we were talking about Viral Nova.
Yes.
And he also he placed this in his blog post that he noticed it on places like BuzzFeed and Viral Nova. And the title for this Viral Nova one was, my house feels so boring after seeing these 33 awesome things. I want them all, especially number 5.
Yeah, exactly.
So
what's number 5?
Link bait. So he said that I want them all, especially number 5, is that something extra. And it seems to be pulling in a ton of extra traffic and shares. When you read the title, how can you not wonder what number 5 is? So he said that it doesn't work for all type of blog posts, and it also depends on the audience. But by encouraging action and social sharing seems to be taking priority over SEO specific blog post titles. So back in the day, I mean, you'd focus on the stuff in the keywords that you wanted in there. But now it's really starting to come down to...
Now you actually have to have real people read these and click on them.
Yeah. And so now you need to have those clickbaity titles. So
that was focus on the dumbness of people.
Yeah. Tip number 1. That was tip number 1. Here's number 2. Start with the story. And he's been trying this on and off over the past 8 months. He's still not 100% sure which one works the best in terms of like conversions and stuff. But he did notice on the ones that he starts with the story, the blog post, that the bounce rate is significantly less. So it keeps people looking at your content. They start reading the story and they want to hear how it pans out or how the story relates to your content.
What makes the bounce rate diminish?
By having the story.
By having a good story?
Yeah. So what he'll do is
I think that's true about everything though, right? Like if your blog post sucks, people aren't going to keep reading it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a good blog post, but he'll integrate a story into that blog post that relates.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I already knew this tip.
No, because he does a lot of that stuff. And I mean, everyone loves to hear a good story.
Sure.
And so if you could make it, match the message, then...
No, I got you.
You're going to hook them.
That's good. And they do that stuff with public speaking too. I've noticed like the better public speakers tell a story. Of some kind. Because if you just go up there and present crap, I mean, especially if it's like a free thing or like a keynote, it's way more interesting to hear like what do they call those things? Like an anecdote. Yeah.
Yeah. So the longer that they stay on your page reading your story, they're not going to bail, after it. They're going to be, I found that story interesting. I'm going to keep reading, at least get to the end. Then you could hit them up, do your call to action. You'll be good to go. Number 3, check analytics, add opt-in forums, enjoy a bigger list. He said, this is really simple to do, step by step. Log into your analytics account and find the 5 most viewed pieces of content on your site over the past 2 months. Add opt-in forums for your email list on those pages or posts. So he's specifically talking like add them into that page or post, not just over on the right or over on the left or at the bottom.
Like you embed them midway through the post.
Right. You want to integrate it.
Ooh,
and
integrate.
When he learned that he had a ton of traffic visiting his About page, and it was actually pointed out by Derek Halpern of Social Triggers, he added opt-in forums to the page, and after a month, he experienced a 446% increase in opt-in conversions. On that specific page. So that's huge. So he also does it on his income reports page because that one is one of the highly heavily visited pages.
Sure.
And whether it's a poster page, it doesn't matter. Wherever the most people end up on your site, that's where you want to put it. Number 4, isolate super important links. And what he means by isolate is
keep them separate.
Yeah, keep them totally.
I think that's what everybody means by isolate.
I was going to give a description, like they should be on their own line.
Okay.
And so what he does is he'll put a link in there, and the link will take up the whole line and only be that link. So you won't integrate it in with the rest of the text. So it stands out. And the most important part is that, it's for mobile. And because if you're on a mobile phone and you're looking at content, if it's in with the text, the chance of you seeing it, you might miss it.
Sure.
Your fat fingers won't be able to hit it, stuff like that. And so he said that the link is an important link within this post, one that could help get a lot of people, but also one that is a byproduct of providing value, could potentially lead to an affiliate commission. And it's also like normally when he does those links, it's a recommended product that he's used in the past. So they get clicked more. And he said, have you ever tried using your finger to tap on a link on a mobile device and click the wrong link instead? And he says that happens a lot.
All the time.
Yeah. And according to Greg Hickman from mobilemix.com, 51% of all email opens happen on a mobile device.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
It is huge.
So you want to make it as easy as possible to click on it. And also keep in mind that the number of your subscribers could be getting to your blog posts via email, as well as not just your newsletter and broadcast emails, which is another reason to use this strategy in your blog posts. And it only takes a few seconds to implement, but isolating your important links can mean the difference between someone easily clicking through and going to where they need to go, or someone not finding their way around your site, getting frustrated, leaving, bailing. And number 5, after you hit publish, this step should be next. It said hitting the publish button is actually just the beginning of what blogging is really about.
Oh no, we're not done.
No, we're supposed to be integrating this stuff as well.
Oh, we are.
We talked about it.
So this post is going to give us more work to do.
All of these, yeah, I know. Where I'm like, oh man, we got to do all these things. We could benefit from all these 5 tips for sure. But this is a job for our VA. So it said blogging isn't just about publishing content. It's also about marketing the content and getting it into the world for people to read, share, and take action. So that sharing our posts on Facebook and Twitter and other social media channels, we all know how to do that already. And I think we all do that if we're blogging and things. But this is a one step in between that you should implement that will help get your content in front of more people. He learned this strategy directly from Gary Vaynerchuk during an interview that he had, so he could get much more leverage out of sharing my posts and podcasts on Facebook if he took a little bit extra time to create an image and some text with his logo on top of it. And then and only he would share it to Facebook and other media platforms. So we talked about that in the past.
So stick an image on the shares all the time.
Yeah,
on the posts.
Upload an image, that's nice and big. He said, they really stand out on the Facebook. And at first what he was doing is he would upload an image, trying to find the image size because it was kind of an odd one. But you want to first pick an image that has to do with the content. It doesn't have to be anything super fancy. Sometimes you could just do a screenshot of that blog post and then upload it.
So just go to your site, take a screenshot of what the post looks like and use that as the image?
Yeah, you could. I mean, you really want to have it relate directly to what you're talking about.
That seems kind of like it would just look like a little blob of nothing, right?
No, you'd put text over it. So you'd put like the text of your blog post
I see.
over the blurry type image, but you really want to create your own images or get someone to produce those for you. But okay, here's the image size. He was typically creating an image that's 403 by 403 pixels, knowing that the image would not be cropped off when it appears in people's feeds. So he'll upload the image first, add it to his status update, and link it to the content from there. And different software that he was using, he uses Adobe Photoshop, but you could also use GIMP, Paint.net, Pixlr, PicMonkey, or Canva.
PicMonkey?
Yeah, I've never tried that one yet.
Me neither.
But according to Amy Porterfield, Facebook recently made a change giving preference to link share posts, and those posts show up more often in people's feeds, and they're a different image size too. And so when you paste a link directly into your Facebook status area first, you'll see some content. We'll pre-populate it with like the image, the title of the post, a little bit of a description, and you could edit all that information. But instead of using the images that it pulls in, you could upload an image. So you upload that image, and he said the image size should be 560 pixels by 292 pixels tall. So
why exactly
huge.
That size, though?
I guess that's the maximum size that you could use that won't be cropped, like in people's feeds. So it's even bigger than what he was using before, and that works out really well for him. He says he's getting a really good results from using those image sizes. So that's about it. 5 quick tips that are easy to implement from Pat Flynn. Thanks, Pat.
Pretty good. So I've got a post here from unbounce.com, why people don't trust your landing page testimonials.
Oh, noes.
Mostly because yours are fake. But to actually talk about that in here. So testimonials are all about trust, yet despite federal laws against fake testimonials, they appear to be rampant in the online marketing world. While there are no apparent large-scale studies investigating exactly how common fake testimonials are, we do know that Yelp already filters out 20% of their reviews as suspicious.
Oh, they filter out 100% of mine.
Because yours are all fake. Meanwhile, roughly 90% of people assume the testimonials found inside of marketing messages are made up. In other words, while they might trust reviews on an Amazon product page or some other non-sales platform, most consumers do not trust testimonials when they see them on landing pages.
What?
I didn't know that.
That's lame.
That is lame. I kind of believe some of them.
Because everyone says use testimonials.
Yeah. So they said, are celebrities the answer? And I put celebrities in quotes. According to research by Nielsen, 68% of consumers trust consumer opinions posted online. At first, this seems to suggest that testimonials from people just like you should be more effective than celebrity endorsements. Unfortunately, this rationale breaks down as soon as we stop talking about reviews and start talking about testimonials. Apparently, peer testimonials either aren't authoritative enough or they aren't trustworthy enough. This is where celebrities can be somewhat helpful. That said, we need to be careful with what we mean by that. So he says Neil Patel was able to double his conversions by sharing testimonials from big brands as opposed to testimonials from medium-sized businesses. QuickSprout still uses a floating box of Michael Arrington from TechCrunch to draw conversions. And the image they show in here is of, I guess, Michael Arrington. I don't know who he was. Yeah. And it says Neil increased TechCrunch's traffic by 30% within 2 months. So It's like a direct thing. He said it's important to note that Michael Arrington isn't just saying QuickSprout is great and they made me really happy. He's getting very specific. He's giving specific numbers and time frames, which makes the testimonial far more trustworthy. It's not just about TechCrunch endorsing QuickSprout. It's about QuickSprout producing results for TechCrunch.
I could totally see that.
Yeah. I've always found that when you say really specific stuff, it works way, way, way better.
Yeah.
I think I've talked about this before on here. They say beware of relevance, the relevance problem. If the celebrity in question isn't relevant to the brand, your results could be mediocre or even counterproductive. A study conducted by the University of Colorado Boulder found that celebrity endorsements can cause people to transfer a celebrity's personality traits to a brand they are endorsing. In the study, participants read a series of celebrity stories, including one about Jessica Simpson and a brand she was supposedly endorsing. After the study, they were asked to evaluate the brand. The participants would call the brand sexy and fun, but they would also call it ditzy and weak.
Wow.
That's funny, huh? Do you remember that thing she did about Chicken of the Sea?
Yeah.
Is there chicken in here? There is chicken in here, isn't there? Anyway, the power of photographs. Most tests seem to suggest that testimonials from authority figures tend to work much better than testimonials from everyday people. But what if you don't have the kind of pull it takes to get an influencer's feedback on your product?
Yeah. What would you do?
I'm glad you asked. The solution is to remember why authoritative testimonials work. It's not necessarily because of the person is well known. It's because the visitor knows they're real and trusts the message.
Yeah.
This isn't usually possible if the testimonial is from an average Joe who may or may not even exist. So they say there is one very important exception to this, however, the power of photographs. Consider what 37 Signals pulled off. You know those guys are, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just by including a large image of a typical customer along with their testimonial as the principal component of their landing page. And they show the two side by side in this article. And there's a picture of a woman and like a giant, it's like the whole page is basically her talking about, keeping track of blah, blah, blah. So they had 102% increase, I assume, in conversions or signups. Oh, conversions. So they write, simply including a large image of a customer next to her quote, boosted conversions by 102%.
Dang.
In this case, the individual person didn't seem to matter much at all, surprisingly. They tested several different customer photographs, both male and female, and got essentially the same results.
Man, that's awesome.
That is pretty cool. So it says, it seems the photographs of customers assure users that the review isn't fake, assuming the customers don't look like a paid model.
Yeah.
And that ties into another stuff that a lot of people have discovered, and people
stock photos don't
exactly. You need to use the ones that don't look all modelly and they look like real ugly people.
Like all of us. They're one of us. They drink Starbucks. Oh, sorry.
Speak for yourself. I look like a model. Anyway, why your testimonials shouldn't be perfect, in quotes. Here's a strategy that's more than a little counterintuitive. Include a testimonial with at least a few arguments against your own immediate self-interest. Research has shown that people who see a wider range of positive and negative reviews are more likely to make a purchase. Research has also found that 68% of consumers trust reviews more when they see both good and bad scores. The shoppers who went out of their way to find more negative reviews were also 67% more likely to make a purchase. I wonder, I was reading that. I kind of do that too. Like when I'm going to buy something like on Amazon.
Yeah.
I like dig deeper to see if there's anything really bad.
Yeah, and if it's not that bad, you're like, it's good.
Exactly. I've already almost convinced myself to buy it, and the only thing stopping me, I made like a little deal with myself.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get it if someone said this really sucks. And I might even see someone say it was horrible, and then I evaluate what they wrote. Like if they're
like, they're illiterate.
Yeah, they're stupid. Exactly. They're illiterate. That hillbilly didn't know how to get this device
Look
working.
At their poor use of grammar.
They're dumb. So he said, I'm asking for you to test landing pages with testimonials that qualify your statements. Include a testimonial that says something along the lines of, this product isn't for so-and-so, it's just for so-and-so.
Yeah.
And they say using a testimonial that will rule out the kinds of customers who won't be satisfied with your products anyway. If you've been in business for a while, you already know this kind of thing ultimately works in your best interest. And I would say spades, it's huge. Like especially if it's something that's technical.
Yeah.
You almost want to get rid of the people that have no clue, because they're just going to suck up a bunch of time with support questions. Exactly. And they're going to have a crappy experience anyway. And then they're going to say crappy stuff about you, even though it was their fault for being too dumb to use the product.
They're going to want their money back.
Exactly. So, he said from the consumer perspective, they can immediately realize that you wouldn't include a testimonial like this unless you're playing the long game.
Right.
So the next section is use testimonials with precise figures. In an experiment performed by researcher Dan Schley, he asked the participants how believable a statement was. The statement said either that 60% of American households recycled or 60.37% recycled. The participants were far more likely to believe the precise number over the rounded number. 78% of those who chose the more precise number say they chose it because it implied accuracy. Of course, it's not always possible to include testimonials with precise figures. Not all of us have customers who are trying to boost web traffic or lose weight. Thankfully, this principle applies to everything, not just numbers. The key is to use testimonials that are as precise as possible. They explain exactly why they need the product and exactly how it helped. So the final thing is the recap, what we've learned. Landing page testimonials need to be trusted before they can even have the faintest influence on conversions and revenue. We've talked about 4 tricks you can use to make this happen. Number 1, use testimonials, not necessarily from celebrities, but from trusted experts. Number 2 is use images of your customers and make them the centerpiece of the testimonial. Number 3 is choose testimonials that will rule out the kinds of customers who will be dissatisfied with your product. Arguing against your own short-term interests builds credibility faster than almost anything else. And number 4, choose testimonials that are as precise as possible about the problem they faced and how the product helped, using precise numbers when possible.
That's awesome.
I thought it was a really good article, and it's from unbounce.com. I think they do that stuff like, I think you can hire these guys to optimize your landing pages and stuff like that. Yeah. I believe that's what they do.
I have an idea. You know
no. We always get in trouble when you say that.
Well, since we've got some pretty good feedback from both Pat Flynn and John Dumas and some other people that are really big in the podcasting community, we could put a little picture of them with their little testimonial there.
Okay.
And a link back to their website. That'd be kind of cool.
Okay, you have to ask them though.
Oh yeah, you totally have to ask them.
You have to ask them.
Oh yeah, I'll hit them up.
You can even ask Naked Barry.
Yeah, I'll hit him up too. I'm not sure if he likes us or not.
Would you like your photo to be nude or not nude?
I'm still trying to
Because in my mind, you're always nude. Whenever I read a post about you, you're naked.
After this episode, I think that he probably won't like me. But
I don't think so either. Or he might be really flattered. I mean, I would be really flattered.
I'm always wondering, like, does Barry like me or not?
You're not my type.
I'm not really sure.
That's fine.
I'm keep on searching through my comments.
No judging. No judging from this side of the table.
Yeah, great. Anyhow, I love you, Barry. Send me some love.
That's it. Dig the hole deeper.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's another episode of the Daily Blogcast.
Yep.
And
until tomorrow.
Yeah. We'll be back for Tequila Thursday.
Yep.
See ya.
See ya.
You've been listening to the Daily Blogcast for Internet Marketing.
Visit our site, dailyblogcast.net, where you can find show notes and links to all of the blogs mentioned in this episode.
While you're there, make sure to sign up to our free newsletter so you're notified of new episodes and get a bunch of goodies delivered directly to your inbox.
Don't forget, we need your support, so do us a favor and log into iTunes and leave a rating and a review. It only takes a minute and they'll really help us out. See you tomorrow.
See ya!